right, now let's practice a little bit with these ionic compounds in solution. So again, going back to our classic example of sodium chloride, okay, what happens when we have these soluble ionic compounds, they split into their constituent ions. So sodium chloride has one sodium ion and one chloride ion. So in solution, okay, and this is in water, all right, we get one sodium ion and one chloride ion. All right, so let's practice a bunch of these. So I've got some silver nitrate, copper 2 chloride, sodium phosphate, and magnesium sulfate. All right, so hopefully you have the slides in front of you because I'm going to go ahead and turn to a blank page. So we're going to write equations for the dissolution of all of these. So the first one we had was silver nitrate. All right, so my solid silver nitrate, I'm going to put it in some water. And I'm going to split and get some silver ions and some nitrate ions. All right, so there's my dissolution of silver nitrate. All right, now my copper 2 chloride. All right, I'm going to put it into some water. All right, so I'm going to get a copper 2 ion. Now, notice my chloride here. I have a subscript there. That means I have 2 chloride ions for every 1 copper, because remember when we charge balance it, okay, we had to figure out how many of each thing do we need. So that means that when it splits into ions, I get 2 chloride ions. There's no such thing as a Cl2 ion coming off of this. All right, so I have to look at those subscripts to figure out how many of those ions we're actually going to get in solution. Okay, so here's another one to try. Okay, some sodium phosphate. I'm going to put that into some water. All right, now, phosphate, remember, has a -3 charge. Okay, and sodium had a +1 charge, which means to charge balance this, how many sodiums did I need? I needed 3 of them. So when it splits into ions, when it dissolves in water, I get 3 sodium ions and the 1 phosphate ion. Okay, and then my last example here. Okay, I'm going to take some magnesium sulfate, put it into water, and when it splits, we'll get 1 magnesium ion and 1 sulfate ion. Now, one thing that can help you make sure that you have all of this together is, remember, everything has to equal in a chemical equation, which means that all of my charges have to equal. So my solid compound here has a charge of 0. My solid compound here has a charge of 0. Charge of 0, charge of 0. Now when I look at my ion charges, I have a +1 and a -1. +1 and -1 is going to give me 0. Here I have a +2, and here I have 2 times -1, which will give me 0. Here I have 3 times +1 and a -3, which will also give me 0. And here I have a +2 and a -2, which give me 0. So one way you can make sure that you have things split correctly is you can make sure that everything will still zero out like it's supposed to.